Okay, I know the lighting it's like awful, but it's like 6 p.m. So I ran out of time. I fell asleep and I haven't filmed my video, so this is what you're getting. No, yeah, I really wanted to film this video. I had it like ready for like a week, so I need to film it already because I really want to talk about it and we're running out of time. So today's video, as you perhaps saw in the title, I want to talk about love triangles. And I want to talk about love triangles specifically because we are in August, and that means salt air and the rust on your door. Yeah, I'm talking about the love triangle Taylor Swift created in her album Folklore. If you don't know, the album Folklore has 3 songs that are connected. Okay, so it has 3 songs that are connected, and those songs are August, Ignore My Hair Tights. It's a mess, I know it. August, Betty. Betty, I won't make assumptions about why you switched your homeroom, but I think it's 'cause of me. And Cardigan. But I knew you dancing in your Levi's, drunk under a streetlight. And basically, the story is talking to us about, okay, so we're following in Cardigan a girl named, oh my god, what's Betty? Oh my god, why did I forget? Betty, and basically, Betty had a boyfriend in high school, like, named James, and James cheated on her during the summer. And so her song is she saying, like, talking about how she felt, her experience with the cheating and so on. And so second, we have Betty, that's James' point of view. And basically what Taylor Swift said is that she always wanted a man to apologize to everything they've done, and they never do. So she decided to write the apology herself, and that's what's telling. Like, it's an apology, but that doesn't mean you have to forgive him, okay? So it's just an apology. And last but not least, obviously the most important, we have August. That's Augustine's point of view. And basically she is she's the girl James cheated on Betty with. And while you and Betty can hear James calling it was just a summer thing, she's calling it summer love because she really fell in love. And so this is the month for the second options, people say. Whatever. So I wanted to talk about a few love triangles, not only in books but also in TV shows, and talk about the ones I think were done good, like well, and the ones I think that didn't. Okay, so I will not be talking about the Summer I Turned Pretty show because I haven't watched it, but I will watch it and I'll talk about it later. People say it's better than the book, and I hope so because I only read the first book and I hated it, so there's that. But whatever. Okay, so the first I'm gonna talk about, I'm gonna leave the best love triangle to the end. If you don't know what's the best love triangle, I'm sorry. We have The Selection. If you don't know, The Selection is like a very famous YA dystopian kind of series, and basically it's like The Bachelor, if I'm not wrong. I never watched The Bachelor, but that's what people say. And basically we're following this girl, America. Her name is America, like girl. America Singer, and she's a singer, right? That name, people keep laughing about the name, and yeah, that's old. I'm not gonna laugh again, but it's ridiculous. You have to admit it. And yeah, so basically America is this girl, and she lives in a society where people are divided like in castes. People compete to become the new princess and be the future queen. So she enters, of course, the competition against her will. She doesn't want to enter, but she doesn't, her family needs the money because she's not that big of a caste. But she's in love with a boy from a lower caste, so she doesn't care. That's like the love triangle. His name is Aspen, and she's America, and the prince, Maxon. And I hated The Selection. I only read the first 3 books. People say it gets worse, like with the story of the descendants of America. So yeah, but I really hated it. I read it only because of a quote that says, like, break my heart. I think it was that one, like, Or is that from the Shadowhunter Chronicles? I don't remember, but he says, I think, break my heart, it was only ever yours to break. And I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be good. It sucks. I don't recommend it, like, to anyone. Some people like it. So maybe I'm being biased, but because I hated it. But yeah, I don't like it. It's my recommendation you're watching. And so I think this is a love triangle done bad. Even though you don't know who she's going to end up with, like, you have your doubts, at least for the first two books, kind of. It's bad. It's underwhelming because they're both pieces of shit, and also she sucks, and you're like, and the only character I like, it's called Celeste. I don't know how you say it in English. And yeah, and I know she's kind of a villain, but I love Soya Nanzialensky, so we're going to talk about Shadow and Bone, of course. But after that, I think another love triangle that's very famous and in the same genre of the selection is the Hunger Games, of course. But everyone was Team Pira. I don't think everyone is Team Gale, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And the book is basically not very much on, like, focus on the love, but also she has, like, PTSD at the end and how they bond through healing. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We also have Twilight, of course. I never read Twilight. I never watched the movies. And I was a Jacob stan because I love Taylor Lautner and my sister loved Robert Pattinson. And I loved him, but I wanted to fight with her. So I said, I'm gonna stan Taylor. Yeah, I'm not longer a Taylor stan. I know what he does in the end. Like, they're ridiculous, like, both of them. And also Bella, like, all that I know, but I don't know enough because I never watched it. But I watched, like, people reacting to the movies, and I watched people talking about the books, so I think I know enough. That's how I read books I don't want to read. So yeah. I don't know if it's a good love triangle. I don't know if you know they're going to, like, that's one of the things I like to see in love triangles, that you don't know who is going to end up with, or there's something I didn't say. Okay, so people call it love triangles. These are not love triangles because, for example, I'm gonna use the selection as an example. You have America in the middle, and you have Maxon, and you have Aspen. They're in love with her. She's in love with them. That's what the love ends like. That's a line. That's a train. That's not a triangle. To have a triangle, you have to unite these two. It has to be, you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think, and I think the only solution for a great love triangle, it's a polyamorous relationship, like. But I said what I said. We have To All the Boys I Loved Before. Okay, so I don't think this is, I like the books, but I don't think there are a good love triangle, only because you know who she's going to end up with, like, from the beginning. And also, like, she doesn't get to interact with, like, she gets in the second book many moments with the John Ambrose, but also it's like, yeah, they're doing the bare minimum. So she just wanted to make it a love triangle. And I hate Peter Kavinsky. Like, if Peter Kavinsky has 100 haters, I'm one of them. And he has 10 haters, I'm one of them. If he has one hater, that's me. And if he has no haters, well, I'm dead. We have The Summer I Turned Pretty by the same author of To All the Boys I Loved Before. Oh my god, it's getting so dark. And The Summer I Turned Pretty, it's actually, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said it already at the beginning, I don't like the book. And I don't know the love triangle, but I hate it when they do that with brothers. I hate love triangles with brothers. Because, like, I don't know. I cannot imagine, like, my sister and me, like, fighting for the same person. And that, like, the kissing booth. I don't like that stuff. Oh my god, I'm only talking about books. I haven't talked about movies enough. Okay, here we have a movie, a TV show. It's The Vampire Diaries. Okay, so I love The Vampire Diaries. I am a Delena shipper, first of all. And I love Stefan. He's perhaps my favorite. But I want him with me. Like, I want him safe. Like, Alina does not deserve Stefan. She's in love with Damon. Let her have her Damon. I love Damon too, but let her have it. I don't give a fuck because he's not my type, even though he's hot. So yeah, I really love Stefan. He is chaotic mess. I also love Klaus, but that's not relevant right now. But yeah, and I did like this love triangle, especially in the first 3 seasons. Like, you felt it, how they were like. The only thing is, again, this is a brothers, so it's not a triangle because the brothers, please, cannot be together unless you're Cassandra Clare. So we're not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about City of Bones because that love triangle with Simon, even though that's a real love triangle, because of course Jason and Simon are in love. If I talk about that love triangle, I have to mention Sebastian, and I don't want to talk about it, even though I said his name already. I'm sorry for the real Sebastian Verlac. Like, boy, your name, it's in the ground. Come and pick it up. And we have Wuthering Heights, of course. Okay, so Wuthering Heights is one of my favorite books. If you didn't know, oh my god, what a mess. I cannot stop touching my hair, I'm sorry. And I do feel like there's obviously, like, it's not a love triangle. It's so much more messy. So, Heathcliff and freaking Catherine, they are a mess. So, I think, regardless if it is or it is not a love triangle or whatever it is, I think it is well done. It's one of my favorite books. And yeah, so... Oh my god, I didn't say... Well, The Vampire Diaries, if you don't know, it's this show about vampires, and it's basically this boy named Stefan, like, he's the narrator, at least in the first season, and he... Well, for some reason, he comes and goes to high school, because of course vampires will go to high school like 100 times. That makes so much sense. And yeah, like, he meets a girl named Elena. Elena just lost her parents, and she and her brother are dealing through a lot of grief. And so she discovers that Stefan is a vampire, and there are vampires and witches and stuff like that. That's how you, like, explain it. And in the beginning of her first season, like, our villain, it's like Stefan's brother, Damon, because he basically is trying to make Stefan's life impossible. And they are like normal vampires. They have to drink blood. They have rings, like, done by a witch to fight against the sun. But there's a problem, and that is Stefan doesn't drink blood because of something you learn later, but he cannot drink human blood. He drinks animal blood, like bunnies and stuff like that. This is so funny. So yeah, he's a vegetarian. Well, a no humanitarian. How do you say that? I don't know. I just said some bullshit. Okay, so Rebecca and Shadow and Bone are my two last love triangles. And even though I didn't like Rebecca, the things I liked about it are surround, like, Rebecca, the character that's dead from the beginning. And she's part of a love triangle. If you don't believe it, someone that's dead, it's still influencing through the grave. And I do believe that our unnamed main character is in love with Rebecca, kinda, even though she didn't know her. So that's kind of a real triangle. And last but not least, we have Shadow and Bone. I reluctantly call it a love triangle because even though, yeah, Elena kissed the Darkling, yeah, Elena had a kind of relationship with him, I consider the Darkling creepy as fuck, and he is supposed to be, but no, people keep shipping them, especially you, Ben Barnes. Like, can you stop? And yeah, the other love interest is like her best friend, and this is the first time I didn't like Friends to Lovers as much because I hated, like, Maul for the first 2 books, and then in the third one I liked him a little. I liked Darkling in the first book, and I was like, there's nothing he can do that will make me hate him. I hate him. So he's done a lot, and those are the love triangles I wanted to talk to you about. So I have a love-hate relationship with love triangles because if done well, oh my god, I forgot to mention the best one. Why am I like that? Okay, so we have in the Dark Artifices a love triangle that turns into a polyamorous relationship, but I will not be talking about it, even though it is fucking amazing, and I love them all. But that's how you resolve a love triangle. But we have the best love triangle in history. We have the infernal devices. That's again perfect because it is a real triangle. We have like the infernal devices is from the Shadowhunter Chronicles series. It's like the origins, they call it in Spanish, and we are following Will Herondale, Tessa Gray, and Jem Carstairs. And what happens? It's that Tessa, it's this human girl, and her brother, she's from New York, but her brother lives in England. So she comes to England to visit her brother, and while she's there, she gets kidnapped, and so she discovers that she may not be as human as she thought she was, and there's like a secret world, this world of shadows, and all the stories are true. And so she meets two boys, and those are Jem and Will. They're Paravatai. If you don't know Paravatai, it's like the highest bond. Like there's not a word we humans use that describes the bond. It's like a connection, like soulmates. And so they are connected since they were like 12, I think. I don't remember, but yeah. And yeah, we're following them, and they have their own demons. Like Will, for some reason, mistreats people, like when they're getting too close, and Jem has like a sickness, and yeah, and so Tessa is dealing with everything that happened to her, and she meets these boys, and she falls in love with the both of them. And there's a quote like she says like, I don't think I could have fallen in love like with one of you if I didn't fall in love with both, because they're like so connected. Like you need to love them both, you cannot love only one. And so yeah, and they're in love with each other, of course. If you don't know, like their ship is called Heron Grey Stairs, and I love them a lot. And I don't want to talk a lot about them because I begin to cry. And if you don't know, the last hours, we're basically like the new series Cassandra Clare is releasing. Like we only have one book left. It's following like the descendants of them. I cannot tell you which descendants because that's kind of a spoiler. Because of course people die. Okay, it's so fucking dark. So this is everything I have to say about love triangles. Oh my god, I got so scared. Okay, so see ya.